Hey, my lovelies. Oh my God, let me tell y'all what a day it has been for me. I am just now touching down at home and, getting settled in and getting relaxed and stuff. It has been one heck of a day. I had to go to Charlotte. I left here at 7:30 this morning and just returned home like maybe I touched down here exactly 1 almost, and I had to have my 7-year-old at the doctor by 1:30, so I had to turn right back around as I got home, change my clothes, had her do that and get her back to the doctor because she is sick. She was coughing, she had sore throat, it was hurting her tummy every time she coughed, so I had to go take her to the doctor at that time. And guys, it's crazy how they got this. It's like you pull in a parking spot and you call this number to check in, and they like come out and get you and then bring you in. It's like, okay, they're really taking this corona very seriously. I mean, it is a serious thing, but I look at it this way: if you're going to get it, you're going to get it. If you're not, you're not. It's something like, the flu, basically. It has the same symptoms and everything, so you really can't distinguish which is which. Yeah, I had to have her there, and then my dad had to be at the doctor, and then, I had to rush back, get him, take him to the doctor, and then I did not want to come all the way back home, wasting gas and all that, so I went over a friend's house I was able to sit over maybe 10 minutes before my dad was ready for me to come back and get him from the doctor. Okay, get done that, and then a friend called me needing a ride because she ain't got a car, and she just lived right above me, and I'm like, oh my God, I just got in the house. I said, can you just give me 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, and I'll be right there, I promise. And so I had to give her a ride to the store to pick them up something to eat and something to drink, and oh my God, guys, I'm finally sitting down. It's like, it's amazing how things go. I mean, Lord, guys. But anyways, as I was coming back down from Blowing Rock, I was filming some of the great scenery that they have. I am going to post on my channel just for the sake of it, just to let you see what a beautiful place North Carolina is. But like I would say, at the same time, it is very boring. It's more like for the retired people, or for people that has money. It's basically what Caldwell County is all about. But I'm going to post that later onto my channel. I might go ahead and upload it now, so y'all can see what a beautiful place this is. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and jump right into it. We are going to do some more unsolved Halloween murders. We left off at I believe it was Norton, if I'm not mistaken. Guys, was it Norton or was it the other one? I know we done Anthony Seabell. I know we did Derek Grain. I think we did leave off at Norton last night. Yes, we did. Norton Gregory was the last one we did last night. So, today we are going to be talking on the case of, if I can get to it, the murder of James Adamski, something like that, but we're gonna call him James, okay, guys, just for our respect. Okay, ready? Let's do it. Let's get this, guys. Anyways, okay, James never came home from a Halloween party in 1982. The 18-year-old resident of Chilwaukee, New York, bonds his family goodbye on the evening of October 30th. The costume high school senior went to a party at a bar in nearby Dupu. I think that's how you pronounce it. Guests needed only to pay an entry fee to drink all they liked, and James drank quite a bit. Witnesses would later report that at one point during the party, James was seen arguing with a few other partygoers. Early the next morning, James set off for home, roughly 2 miles, which is about 3.2 kilometers away. For part of the journey, he walked with a girl, but they split at an intersection and James pushed on alone. And at that point, it was around 3:30 a.m., 3:30ish a.m., somewhere around there. James wasn't seen again. So he was last seen at this intersection with this girl, who I'm speculating was at the party too. They decided to walk, and maybe she probably lived in the opposite direction than he lived, and so they split up. So with that being said, okay, his parents knew something was wrong, something was amiss when they didn't. Where was that at, guys? Amiss when they didn't see their son the next morning. Several weeks of searching proved fruitless, and people were at a loss to explain James's disappearance. He wasn't known for getting in any trouble, and no one could think of anyone who might have considered him an enemy. On December 26th, 2 hunters found a body in a shallow grave. It was James, still wearing his Halloween costume. He'd been buried under twigs and leaves around 4 miles, which is about 6.4 kilometers, from where he was last seen. Despite the time that had passed, investigators were able to determine the cause of his death: blunt force trauma, which means blunt force trauma can mean anything, like was hit in the head, he was beaten, severely. That's blunt force trauma. James had been struck repeatedly in the forehead with an unknown blunt instrument. Hundreds of people were questioned during the ensuing investigation, but no arrests were made. Detectives concluded about the argument James had been at the party wasn't related to his death. The scene of his burial yielded little information about who may have killed him. It is believed that during his walk, James, still drunk, was picked up by someone in a vehicle. Whether this person was someone James knew or was a stranger with a desire to murder a hitchhiker is harder to say. Efforts to solve the case have been continued more than 30 years later. In 2016, James' costume was sent to a lab for DNA analysis. In 2017, an $11,000 reward was offered for any information that will lead to an arrest for his murder. The case remains cold, all the same. So to this day, nobody knows who killed James. I mean, he was at this costume party, this Halloween party. Pretty sure they was all dressed up in costumes and, having a good time. Maybe he had a little too much to drink. Maybe he got drunk, and probably that is why he could not defend himself when it came to the attack, because obviously they didn't say nothing about him having any kind of defense wounds or anything. It was just straight blunt force trauma. Because if you are really sloppy drunk, you cannot defend yourself in no way, because it literally disables you from fighting back when you are drunk or under any kind of influence of any substance that is more of a relaxant thing, like alcohol, let's say Xanax, Valium, anything in the benzodiazepine, like trazodone and stuff like that. Recreational drugs, some like ecstasy could be listed as that, because it depends on what is in the X. So it could be listed as one of those that, could disable you from fighting back. But those type of drugs are, they depress you. They depress your central nervous system, which it relaxes you and mellows you out, and sometimes just to the point where you are basically paralyzed. You cannot do nothing to defend yourself in any case at all. That's why it is with most women when they are slipped the date rape drug, which is usually, some of it can be in the benzo family, which, is Xanax, Klonopin, Ativan, Valium, stuff in that nature. And then you do got ecstasy, which is, considered a date rape drug. But also, So obviously he was drunk and maybe, you know, too drunk to defend himself. That's what I'm thinking. Anyways, guys, we're going to move on to the next case. This is the murder of Roberta Miller. Roberta Bobby Miller, 54 years old, moved into her home in Guilford, New Hampshire in August of 2010. This came in the aftermath of a bitter divorce from her ex-husband, Gary Miller. Roberta lived with her dog Scout and was taking online classes, ready to move on with her life. On Halloween night, someone came to Roberta's house. See, she seemingly let this person in. So seemingly she must have knew this person. Maybe she thought that, you know, maybe this person has to use the phone. You know, anything could have happened here. We're just going to have to read on and find out. So she suddenly let this person in, as there were no signs of forced entry. Roberta's apparent guest then shot both her and her dog, Scout, multiple times. The killing blow was a shotgun blast to Roberta's head. The bodies were found in the kitchen. Roberta's ex-husband seemed like a likely suspect. Money had been a big issue during the divorce. Not long before the murder, Gary Miller filed a motion of contempt against Roberta. Prior to their settlement agreement, she was to pay half of the income tax liability for the previous year. According to court records, Roberta said she didn't have the money to do so. Strangely, on October 29, 2 days before Roberta was murdered, a home in Maine owned by Gary was burned down in what was later determined to be an arson. Despite close sanctuary by the police early on in the investigation, Gary was never charged with Roberta's murder. According to their daughter, Roberta's death left Gary quite distraught. Also, a $26,000 in cash in Roberta's home was not taken by her killer. In 2015, Roberta's mother paid for a billboard to be put up, promising a $53,000 reward for any information that leads to a conviction. This case, to this day, is still unsolved. So let's talk about this for a minute, about her husband. To me, it seems as if, though, you know, it's not a coincidence that just a couple of days prior to Roberta's death, that her husband's house in Maine burned down, and it was an arson, which means somebody burned it. Somebody deliberately set that house on fire. I probably collect insurance money. Use your noggin, guys. And then all of a sudden, Roberta turns up dead. Her and her dog Scout. It's crazy to kill an animal. Why? I mean, what does that animal do to you? But it's crazy, even crazier to kill your ex-wife. What did she do to you but divorce you? Obviously, you done something, or was abandonment in the relationship. Something you did something for her to cause you to want to divorce you. I mean, that's just how. I mean, but to me, it screams that the husband had something to do with it. Maybe he did not physically do it himself. He was not physically present himself. But maybe he had somebody to do it for him. Maybe he hired somebody, you know, because he probably did collect some money off of his house burned down in Maine. Because obviously he didn't do it. So, you know, I'm pretty sure he collected something. But to me, this screams so much that the husband done it. It isn't funny. It's like I cannot let that up off my brain right now, because I believe that he did do it in my heart of heart. That's my opinion. Don't come for me, nobody. I have the right to have my own opinion. And also, guys, I want to say on my channel, if you do not have nothing nice or respectful to leave in my comment section, then don't leave a comment at all, okay? I'm asking you nicely not to do that, because on this channel, we're going to be respectful towards each other. We're not going to do no disrespect on my channel, or you are out. You are booted. So, anyways, guys, those are 2 cases for today. I may log on later on and do another 2 cases because I found 2 that I am so very much intrigued into right now. But I wanted to also get these 2 on here, because they were intriguing too. But anyways, guys, remember, love is love. Be kind, stay beautiful, and always put God first. I'm out of here.